Hello, so Abdullah says, can I have some quick tips for an A star for tomorrow? Yes, look at alternative interpretations and always consider the writer's purpose and viewpoint. Uh, Dacia says, I only listen to Mr. Bruff. Well, actually, Dacia, that is connected to Abdullah's point. If you listen to Mr. Bruff and then you listen to me, you're bound to get different viewpoints, and that's a quick way to get to the A star. So it's not either or, it's both. Um, I do have a video on the younger generation. Just put that into the search. It's a really good one, I think. Do you get context marks on inspector calls? No, you don't, but as I've said many times before, you can't write about Priestley's purpose without mentioning the context of the play. So although the marks aren't for context, you can't leave context out. Uh, Row Hill says, Hi sir, can you take a look at this please? Gerald is regretful at the role he played in the death of Eva Smith. This is suggested when he says, I'm rather more upset by this business than I probably appear to be, and well, I'd like to be alone for a while. Here, by stating that he feels upset, it seems as though Gerald is apologetic for his actions and is accepting some responsibility for her death. The use of dashes also suggests that he's overwhelmed by the sadness he feels. So this is a sophisticated point, delving deeper into the quotation, and spot on, the dashes do suggest that. About the death of Eva, as by pausing regularly, the actor playing the role would convey Gerald's lack of ability to speak due to the emotions he feels. So that's a very good interpretation, but we're going to see an alternative interpretation which takes this into the A and A star. Alternatively, one can argue that the lack of clarity in his apology suggests that he is in fact not upset about her death, but that instead the fact that he had an affair with Sheila has been found out about. It's a bit clumsy phrasing there. We could argue, not they, we could also argue that the regular pauses shown by the dashes suggest that Gerald is trying hard to select his words very carefully in front of Sheila. And that's a really good point. So he doesn't want to get into more trouble with her because he doesn't want the engagement broken off permanently. This is further suggested when he returns in Act 3 with the suggestion that the inspector was actually part of a hoax, which implies that Gerald, along with Mr. and Mrs. Burling, didn't actually change their attitudes. Well, it sort of does. You're right. So that's would have been an A star, but for the clumsy phrasing. A perfect example of how to write a lot about a little. I would add here that we could suspect Gerald's motives even further, and that he's making this excuse to get out, knowing that he's going to find a policeman on the beat and ask about the inspector. We can't prove that that's the case, but he certainly comes back absolutely delighted that the inspector is a hoax. And if he hadn't planned to do this, why does he ask the policeman about the inspector anyway? Actually, you would try to keep quiet, wouldn't you, if you were under suspicion from someone you suspected was a genuine inspector? You'd hardly go up to a policeman and start quizzing them about this inspector, unless you already suspected you were the victim of a hoax. George Jensen, thank you for your congratulations, George. He says, congratulations, I got 5,000 subs. I didn't know that. Once I get 5,000 subs, I can rent YouTube studios in London for absolutely nothing. So I'll have to think of something that we can make a video with. He says, just wondering, with the idea of Christianity, you said that the Easter story involved Jesus dying on the Friday and resurrecting on the Sunday, as opposed to Lenny, that would have a D by the way, arriving on the Friday and dying on the Sunday. What quotation from the book should I use? Well, there isn't a quotation. It's this is a reference to the structure of the novel. Yes, it's of the novel. and references to the structure are always pretty much A and A star in the examiner's mind. So it explains why Steinbeck chose those particular days. He didn't have to set it over a weekend, did he? He could have set this during the week. But he's obviously selected this period for the religious connotations. So you don't have to find a quotation for it in the book. Anna Brannan asks, what three main points would you use for an A or an A star? Well, you wouldn't. You'd probably have 6 at least. But if you were just going to narrow it down to 3, the most important point is the first. So probably her suspicion over Gerald and the excitement over the ring. And then there'll be the last one, her final words in the play, where she's accusing her family of not learning the inspector's lesson. And then you take something significant from the middle, perhaps when she asks her mother not to put up walls between them and this girl. And really, what you do is pick the ones that most showed she was either turning against her family's point of view or beginning to appreciate what the inspector is up to. So I hope that helps you, not just with Sheila, but with any character. But you'd always have the beginning and end, because that shows the character's journey. Many of you have learned this as the narrative arc of the character. Some of you use it without really knowing what it means, but it's that journey that the character makes from what they know at the beginning to how they change and what they end up at the end. So I hope that helps. More videos coming soon.